Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about My Hero Academia One's Justice. In particular, how much can we expect from story mode? How much will story mode cover? Will we only get Season 1? Season 2? Maybe Season 3. At this point we can only speculate, and that's what this video is about. But as usual, on this channel we don't just speculate things out of thin air or because we want things to happen. We analyze the information that we have and draw logical conclusions. So let's get started. Warning! Spoilers for Season 1 and 2 of My Hero Academia anime ahead. It's been a while since we got gameplay for this game or any kind of information regarding its structure, and the first gameplay we had kinda left a bad impression on me, a bad first impression. Now, it is very early and I like to give games the benefit of the doubt, but that gameplay did not look good. You can watch my reaction right here, but I also think most of it was because the resolution was bad, the footage was kind of dark, and the gameplay could be interesting, but the people playing the game were not making it look very interesting at all. Since then, the game has been lacking updates. The latest updates reveal some characters, and these are mostly good guys, characters that have been in the show since the very beginning, so that doesn't give us a lot of hints as to how much will be covered in this game's story mode. But just to recap, because it's important to have all the information before we start drawing conclusions, here are all the characters announced so far. Midoriya Izuku, aka Deku, the main character, All Might, Bakugo Katsuki, Uraraka Ochako, Todoroki Shoto, Ida Tenya, and the only villain announced so far, Shigaraki Tomura. The gameplay that was shown features the battle between Deku and Bakugo, and that's the only gameplay released so far. And it doesn't seem to be anything story related, it could just be a random battle in duel mode, so we can't really draw any conclusions from the gameplay, but the initial teaser trailer shows a battle between Deku and Shigaraki. So Shigaraki seems to be painted as the main villain for this game. When does this battle happen? Never. Or at least it hasn't happened yet. Usually games don't cover events that happened in the manga, unless the anime is about to catch up with the manga or the events that are portrayed in a game. But usually games don't look too far into the manga because they know the anime is more popular. More people watch the anime, not a lot of people want to be spoiled, so the games end up limiting themselves to content shown in the anime. Now, the anime Season 1 and 2 have wrapped up, so those could be in the game, even though the Deku versus Shigaraki fight does not happen in Season 1 or 2. But we have Season 3 premiering very soon. Season 3 of My Hero Academia starts on April 7th. So by the time this game comes out, Season 3 will be underway or completely wrapped up. So does Deku fight Shigaraki in Season 3? Is that what we're seeing in the trailer? Spoiler, no, it's not what we're seeing in the trailer. This fight is completely made up, which is okay, games do that all the time. But it also does not help us confirm how much of story mode will be in the final game. Besides, they could very well just change some events in the story just to have some extra boss fights. For instance, at the end of Season 1, we could have a Deku versus Shigaraki boss fight. They were both in the same room as All Might was fighting Nomu, so there could very well be an extra battle for the game only where Deku fights Shigaraki. For some reason, that battle is taken out into the streets and doesn't happen on that, like, pavilion. But adding that as a final boss fight is completely plausible. However, I don't think that's what's gonna happen. And the reason for that is pretty simple. By the end of Season 1, Deku is wearing a temporary hero costume. So the fight isn't taking place during this time frame. In fact, the outfit that Deku has in the game seems to be taken from the Season 2 of the anime. Something that's supported not only by the outfit, but also from Deku's abilities shown in gameplay and screenshots. Deku already has some control over his quirk. During Season 1, every time Deku uses his quirk, he ends up injuring himself. He doesn't really start to control it until he takes lessons from All Might's teacher, Gran Torino. It's only at this point that he's able to maintain a full cal, which we've seen during gameplay and screenshots for this game. Furthermore, screenshots featuring Todoroki on the website showcase the arena from the sports festival. So it's safe to assume that story mode will cover that arc at least, and that puts us in the middle of Season 2. After that, Deku goes and trains with Gran Torino, and that's it? He learns the full cal and the game just ends there? I mean, the proper boss fight that happens after Deku is able to do the full cal is the Stein boss fight. Now, until we see a Stein announcement as a playable character for this game, we can't really assume that the game will go that far, but these games usually end in a big boss fight. And that's the one boss fight that happens after Gran Torino's training. After you're able to control your full cal, that's who Deku fights. And here's where the game could actually change things. If they don't want to make another playable character, if they don't want to make Stein as a playable character, they could have the Gran Torino training and then have the final boss fight be the one from the teaser, the Deku versus Shigaraki. Whatever the case, it's pretty safe to assume that One's Justice story mode will cover Season 1 and Season 2 of the anime, even if Season 2 isn't covered all the way through to the end. But what about Season 3? I mean, if Stein is in the game, do you think it will go further? Do you think it will go towards Season 3? And the arguments for Season 3 fall solely on the timing, the time of releasing the anime, the time of releasing the game, and how the marketing for this game will work going forward for the rest of the year. And honestly, I think the argument for Season 3 is a pretty strong one. Let's look at what we know. Season 3 starts on April 7th. We don't know how many episodes it will have, but let's assume it's something similar to Season 2. Season 2 had 25 episodes. It started on April 1st, 2017, and it ended on September 30th, 2017. If we're looking at a similar time frame, Season 3 should also end around late September or early October, which, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, the prime time to release video games. Developers put out those games before Christmas time and just watch their bank accounts fill up with money. Currently, One's Justice release date is still very vague. All we know so far is 2018. It's coming out this year. Which month? We don't know. I do not believe it's going to come out on the summer or before the summer, because at this point we would have known some more specifics. So I think the realistic expectation is late 2018. Does that mean September 2018 or does that mean December 2018? That we don't know. But it's clear that they'll have some tie-in with Season 3, at least on the marketing side of things. The anime is coming back, everyone's gonna be talking about it. This is the best time to promote your game as well. It would be very disappointing to watch Season 3 of the anime and then have the game come out towards the end of Season 3 and only cover the first 2 seasons of the anime. Games don't usually do this. In fact, they very much do the opposite. Take Storm 4 for instance. The game's story mode covered the end of Naruto Shippuden before the anime even did it. Now, the anime was pretty close to doing it, so I wouldn't consider this the game going too far beyond in the manga. They already knew when the end of Naruto Shippuden was gonna happen, and since there wasn't a lot of time left, they decided to include it in the game even before the anime happened. But Storm 4's marketing was focused on that final Naruto versus Sasuke battle, because that was all the hype at the time. Now, towards the end of this year, we won't be hyped for a Deku versus Stein fight. At that point, that fight will be 1 year old, so if the game's marketing focuses on that as the final moment, as the final boss battle for their game, it will be so disappointing. By September of 2018, we will be very hyped for a certain battle that I'm not gonna spoil. But I'm just gonna say that everyone who has read it has said that this is it. This is the moment where everyone will become a My Hero Academia fan. And everything seems to indicate that that battle will happen towards the end of Season 3. So with such a strong moment at the end of Season 3, it's hard to see the game coming out around that time and not covering that moment. And for marketing reasons alone, I do believe that we will see Season 3 in the game, because the timing, it's not coincidence. They did not decide to release a My Hero Academia game right around the time that Season 3 is wrapping up. They've taken this into consideration for sure. But is this realistic to expect? 3 seasons in a game? Well, if that's the case, I fully expect them to skip a lot of fights. I'm sure we'll see most of Deku's fights because he's the main character, but depending on the roster of characters they have, a lot of other battles will be skipped so we can cover everything in general. But yes, I think it's realistic to expect something like this. The episodes spend a lot of time in battles. There are a lot of characters thinking about what's their next move, what's their best strategy to take down an opponent. And the game doesn't need to cover any of that because the player will be playing the battles. So with that, you're able to skip a lot of episodes with a single battle. And also we don't know how elaborate the cutscenes will be, how much dialogue or storytelling is there. So they could very well just speed through all 3 seasons, delivering the main boss fights and just kind of letting you figure out the rest as you watch the anime. Anime games often don't have to be this alternate way to experience the story. They don't have to retell everything. They're just fun ways for you to immerse yourself in that universe and sometimes, you know, reminisce, remember what happened, your favorite moments of an anime. That's usually their focus, but of course, this is only my prediction on how much the game's story mode will cover. Let me know if you guys have a different opinion and why you think that is in the comments down below. I'm gonna take you guys way back on this one. One of the first videos we've made on this channel was the top 10 reasons why you should watch My Hero Academia. It's a really old video, you can watch it right here, but it's fun sometimes to check out that old stuff. If you're in the mood for something else, there's also the video at the bottom. But as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.